Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the IWC Radio Podcast. A very, kind of a monumental podcast edition here as we celebrate the 1000th episode of SmackDown Live this upcoming Tuesday. Joining me tonight, it is Will and Chucks. Bean's still on assignment. I haven't heard from Beans. Is he doing all right? Is he still hanging around?
Yeah, he did send us a message today. I'm guessing you've not seen it, but he's okay. Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Also, I just had Discord go off. I forgot to close that out. There we are. Yeah. So, well, it's good to hear. I hope he's see, this is what he's gonna do. He's gonna fly under the radar, and he's gonna make these monumental picks for the prediction game, and then somehow come out in first place. This is what he does. This is what he does. I think him and Baby Beans have some kind of collusion.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, working together.
Yeah. Yeah. How are you, Chucks? How's it? How are you?
Can't complain. Can't complain. I'm here.
Yeah.
You know how it goes.
I know that feeling.
Here.
I know that feeling. Just I'm existing. I'm
existing. I continue to exist.
Just on my own. I definitely feel that. Have you been? Rocket League's doing a double experience weekend. Have you been getting in on that at all?
I have not.
I
haven't played it all for a long time, so I'm due another one of those 2-month periods where I can't stop playing it. I kind of go on and off.
I've been taking advantage of the Rocket Pass because I bought the Rocket Pass and I've been taking advantage of the double experience weekend, which I probably should have gotten a leg up on yesterday, but whatever. Past is the past. Yeah, so here we are. At the end of last week's show, we kind of cliffhanged it saying that, we'll be here next week if there's news stories to talk about, and there certainly are. Apparently at the time, I completely spaced on the fact that, this upcoming Tuesday is the 1000th episode of SmackDown, but more importantly, a little bit of, I hate to lead in with politics on a wrestling podcast, but
yeah,
everyone else does it. Don't worry about
it. Different kind of politics, politics, like government. This is such a weird story and how it has to involve wrestling, but apparently, a U.S. journalist was last seen in it was Turkey, I believe, right, Will?
Yeah, Istanbul, yeah, Turkey.
In Istanbul.
Apparently he was collecting marriage documents from the Saudi Arabian embassy. And he was last seen on CCTV going into the embassy.
But never coming out.
Never came out.
Yeah.
It's since escalated into many people thinking, including the American government, thinking the guy's been murdered.
Yeah.
By the Saudis.
In the U.S. embassy.
In the Saudi embassy.
Oh, in the Saudi embassy in Turkey, right?
Yeah. So this has then led to a lot of criticism of the Saudis, as you can imagine.
Those guys can't catch a break lately, can they? They're criticised left and right.
Yeah, so sorry to take over from it, but yeah, that's basically where we are. And then since then, a lot of companies, like Richard Branson, Virgin, has pulled out of some kind of sponsorship deal they had with someone over there, and other companies have pulled out of whatever deals they got over there, and the focus is now turned on the WWE because obviously they've got this huge event coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and, all this happened within the span of a few days ago.
Yeah. But it wasn't a big story that this guy got missing, and he was assumed missing at first, and then it's just kind of escalated. It wasn't. It's that big. It's made the main news over here, so in the UK.
Yeah.
The WWE part, or
no, not yet. Yeah, no,
the journalist. No,
just the guy. Yeah.
Because I don't know if it must just be the bubble that we're in, but I keep hearing like this huge news happened. This journalist has gone missing, and we're expecting the worst. And somehow it immediately jumps to WWE has to pull out. It's probably because I'm listening to Observer Radio and John and Wayne and whatever, but it does seem kind of strange that everyone's first reaction has been, well, they can't do Crown Jewel anymore, surely.
I mean...
Well, I think it's kind of natural because it's these other companies, like Virgin, were huge companies, they've pulled out. And, if an American, WWE obviously, predominantly an American company.
Oh,
They're like to think they're global, but they're not.
I mean, if you go back to like when they initially announced the deal, all it had to take was like some kind of accident of some sort.
Yeah.
To like kind of put a damper on this entire like deal between WWE and the Saudis.
Well, this is it. Because
this ironically, this is it, and it's not like it escalated to anything within the WWE company itself. fortunately, in that regard. But like, how can you not pull out at this moment in time when a journalist, a U.S. journalist from your own soil, gone missing and then dismembered and such? Like it's a bit tone deaf, to say the least, if they continue the event next week.
And it's not just that. You've got, the likes of Virgin. I keep saying that's the only company I can remember reading, but there are others. But they've pulled out on their own accord. But you've got WWE with the wife of the owner is on the US government.
Yeah. No, there's some quotables from that, where they somebody mentioned name dropped Linda here in that regard. Yeah, there was Senator Chris Murphy from Connecticut saying, "I hope that WWE would be rethinking their relationship with the kingdom, especially with respect to events coming up in the next weeks." And that he's the senator of Connecticut, which is the home state of WWE. Bob Menendez from New Jersey, I think that's how you say his last name there. Private enterprise is private enterprise, different than a governmental entity. But because Linda McMahon is part of the president's cabinet, it falls into the gray area where administration really should give it some thought and maybe even prevail upon them not doing it.
Yeah.
Well, that's been the argument the whole time.
Yeah.
That the whole country is a little bit questionable.
Yeah.
Do you want to be doing business with someone who forces you to keep the women off the show?
Yeah.
It's just the whole thing is a bit weird.
Weird
and I get
and
it.
Shady.
I get that there's a hell of a lot of money in it.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I'd like to say that if I was in Vince's position, I would take the high ground and not do it at all. But it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money, and maybe if you're just going there, you're doing a show, maybe they've got some restrictions on some things, and you don't take Sami Zayn and whatever. It sucks. It really sucks, and you probably shouldn't do it. But I get it. Now the spotlight's really on, and as I say, maybe someone at some point should say, "Sorry, Vince, you just can't."
Yeah.
You just can't.
Yeah.
You're all about public relations these days.
Yeah.
You do all the charity, you plaster it all over your TV. This is what you do, and it looks really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether you care or not, no, you're probably just in it for the money, but whether you care or not, just trust us. Trust us on this one. Not worth it.
And you say like with this, it's kind of not really new with the Linda thing because it's been there for a while.
Mm.
This time we've also got the addition of Kane, because Kane's now an elected official.
That's true.
So
he is a mayor.
Apparently he was asked by local news today, and he wouldn't make a comment. He just said his thoughts and prayers were in the journalists. Sorry, the thoughts and prayers for the journalists, but it were in his thoughts. So he's not saying yeah or no himself, but it's a bit of a kerfuffle.
It's true. It is a kerfuffle.
It is, yeah.
Nailed it.
Dave Meltzer recently said something along the lines that if you're on the roster and you said something now, it would create a mainstream media story. It would shine a light on this whole thing, and it would be bad for WWE if the light was shined on this right now. So anybody who says anything publicly, and that's the thing, because nobody says anything anyway, you don't really have. Yeah. I don't want you to say you don't have freedom of speech there, but you kind of. It's different from most companies, and like he's right. Like if any of them were to say anything right now about it, like you're fueling a fire, pretty much. You're putting gasoline on the fire.
Well, I'm guessing a fair number of people in that company have felt weird about it anyway.
Oh, you have to, like, there's...
you know, and of course no one speaks out. You can't.
Yeah.
You just can't. It's career suicide if you're there and you say, "I'm not going." You just can't do it.
I don't know. Like it. You kind of have to feel for them because, you know, like I said, it's pretty much you have this weird situation with shady people who now have done potentially allegedly shady things, and you can't really shine a light towards it. Like it's an elephant. It's an elephant in the room that nobody can talk about.
It's funny in a way because you've just hit the nail on the head there. We shouldn't really be surprised at this.
No.
Shady company, shady country does shady things.
Yeah.
You know. So. Yeah. But yeah, you're right.
And like, I mean, it's pretty much like who could have seen this coming in a way, you know?
Yeah.
Not to be like completely judgmental, but like, come on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
But like I said,
WWE's official stance on the situation. They issued a statement yesterday.
Yeah.
Which basically said we are monitoring the situation, which said nothing, but.
Which means you're not doing anything.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd imagine. I know it's a weekend, but I'd imagine things are quite hectic up at Stamford.
Yeah.
Because if they are trying to work out another way of doing it, then. I mean, I jokingly said to you before the show took 2 days after the show, this show is supposed to be happening in Saudi Arabia. They're in the UK.
They've done a lot of build towards something.
Yeah.
And now maybe they can't do it. And here's Sean coming out of retirement. There's a big match there. There's AJ taking on Daniel Bryan. That's been set up. Do you just move this over to what's the next pay-per-view's a little way away, isn't it?
Well,
Survivor Series, I guess.
Evolution.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're not going to...
Yeah, I got it.
Can you put that big tag, Brothers of Destruction and DX, on the top of Evolution?
God.
I don't think that'll fly either. But yeah, I mean, this is a big show they've built up for a long time, and now maybe we just hit a brick wall. They've got to do it somewhere.
I'm sure we can find them in an empty stadium in the UK.
We're gonna have to move another match out of Wembley.
Yeah. Hey, there's a story on that as well. We'll get to that later. There's a bit of Triple H being a comment over the weekend.
Oh god, there's another one of his smarmy like, yeah, we'd love to do that sometime. We've just got to make sure the timing's right.
No, we'll get to it now. He said something he's not said before. The usual NXT UK.
I was wrong to hold Booker down.
Oh Jesus.
There's a set of tapings tonight, I think, of the NXT UK. And also they're actually announced the show actually going to start going out on air on Wednesday this week on the network. So there was a conference call with Triple H this week, and someone, as they always do, asked the question of WrestleMania in the UK. And he said something he's not said before. He said, I always get asked the question about going back to Wembley. He said people think Wembley was a real success, and it wasn't. We didn't make anywhere near as much money as we were hoped to.
Whoa.
What, in 92?
Sorry?
In 1992?
Yeah. And he said that's why we've never been back to a big arena in the UK, because it just didn't make us the money we were hoping to.
Okay, all right. If he's comparing to like 1992 to now,
right.
A lot has changed.
Oh god,
a lot
has changed.
Wembley has changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that.
that place sells out for like NFL, and they usually get like 2 shit games a year over there.
Well, and every time they come to the O2 Arena, it sells out.
Yeah.
I don't know about Manchester, Liverpool, but I know they do well.
Yeah.
Raw normally sells out. SmackDown has trouble, but I get your point. Yeah.
Well, SmackDown always has trouble. Yeah. But you do WrestleMania, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
Also, we should have had Beans asking that question on the conference call.
I think you did. You just twice on it.
Really?
Actually, was his question.
Because if he would have asked it, he probably would have like, fucking what, mate?
He would. No, I'm not being funny, but that was 25 years ago.
Yeah. And then Triple H would be like, all right, we'll do it.
Yeah, good argument.
Fair enough. Yeah, going back.
I mean, even if they did a smaller arena, I don't know. But I mean, I can't see them not starting out Wembley, especially now.
A
First
WrestleMania
ever over here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a WrestleMania. You could hype it up to be like this extraordinary event, more than it already is, as like, you know, first time ever sort of thing. And it's just,
Oh, it'd be huge. Yeah.
you cannot tell me that place would not sell out.
The fact that it's WrestleMania too. If you're going to do a SummerSlam,
But it's
I
Shawn
get
Michaels.
But if you do if you do WrestleMania, then you get like how many UK and European fans fly to the US to see WrestleMania?
A lot.
Yeah.
A ton.
Yeah.
How many US fans would fly to London?
A lot.
Maybe not as many, but still a good number.
You bet your ass Sign Guy would be over there. Maybe the
Sign Guy would be there.
Maybe the
Smiley
clown.
face, glow in the jumper guy. He would be in the front.
He ever since you pointed him out, he's like everywhere, Chucks.
He's everywhere, and his little goatee.
Yeah, him and the guy and his mom that he sits next to every time.
I don't see Sign Guy so much anymore.
I think they tend to move him to behind the camera.
Yeah,
And Frank the Clown, I'm guessing he's.
Yeah. They're too notable.
Did you see the sorry, I'm getting really off subject now. Did you see the blue WWE titles they sent out to the super fans? I'm guessing they got one.
I have not.
There's pictures on Twitter. They're for SmackDown 1000. They're just all blue and look really nice. But yeah, I'm guessing they got one. Sorry, I went off topic there.
No, that's all right. I've not seen this.
I seen it on Twitter somewhere.
Link it to me and I'll throw it up on the stream and just.
Yeah.
Look at it.
I know they sent one to Fox because obvious reasons.
Right.
We all like Fox now.
Going back to Crown Jewel for just a quick sec here. This event, I had no idea how far away it was. Apparently, it's on November 2nd, which is a Friday.
Yeah.
And I was trying, I said jokingly before we started the show, I was like, maybe they could just have like a 6-hour Raw. But like, if the event is canceled, I mean, they could. This is probably why they're monitoring the situations, because it's for WWE, it's probably a wait and see. Kind of wait and see how long this develops, and if it becomes a major thing, might as well just pull out along with everybody else. But if things kind of, pardon the terminology, die down a bit, maybe you can kind of, in a way, just be like, no, we're still doing this. We're going to fly under the radar and, have this 3-hour event and then get the hell out of there.
Generally, though, I mean, I was joking about putting the show on the UK, but, I mean, if they decide not to hold it for whatever reason, as I say, it's literally, I mean, they're going to have to fly to the UK because that show's already happening to Raw tape on the following Monday.
Yeah.
Where do they hold the show?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I want to just throw out there that I'm frankly insulted that they're holding a show called Crown Jewel, and it's not in London. The Crown Jewels are in the Tower of London. They're not in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, there's a point.
That's very valid.
That's a show that belongs here. I'm pissed now.
All right, Lex Luger.
They could even say that.
Too tight.
And your t-shirts are too tight, Billy.
They could even turn it into a storyline, get Regal to come out and start saying racist things, and then
oh my god.
we're taking the show back.
Oh my god. Ed in the chat's joined us, saying, I'm here because I'm here. Have we got our breaking news on Chuck's leading the march against Crown Jewel? I don't see the...
I wasn't until he said that, and then I realized actually we have the Crown Jewels.
Yeah.
That should be our show. Now I am.
Also says there's no way that this investigation will likely be done or die down by Crown Jewel, though. May WWE be further provoked to cancel Crown Jewel because of Linda's position in government? I would assume you can't. Again, it would be absolutely tone deaf to have this event now. Like I said, all it would take is one accident, one slip up between WWE and the Saudis to like have this entire deal fall through, and this might be it. This might be it. And I don't know. Maybe Linda will be kind of pressured to like call up Vince. Maybe Trump will call up Vince. That was the other thing that we talked about before the show. You have to assume like maybe Trump and Vince are like buddy, and like one's got to be like the voice of reason and just be like, okay, look, Vince, come on. You can't hold this event. What are you doing? The backlash from this will be huge. So,
yeah.
I mean, where does it leave? Go on, sorry.
Would Vince take advice from one of his own Hall of Famers, or would he,
Jesus Christ,
subtly remove Donald Trump from the Hall of Fame, like with Hogan? Just
my God!
Let's not talk about this guy.
Would he get away with removing the presidents from the Hall of Fame?
He's Vince McMahon, damn it! He can do whatever he wants.
If he actually removes him from the Hall of Fame, what is life?
Well, they actually don't mention him on TV, despite the fact that he's the president.
Yeah.
And he's been in the Hall of Fame,
yeah.
and he bought Raw that time.
That's true.
There's footage they could use all the time for the.
They didn't even.
They don't mention it at all.
It was a bit weird when Lashley come back and they mentioned him being in the main event of Mania, but he wasn't the main event.
Yeah, didn't say why. Yeah.
They showed him at Mania, but it was literally just his entrance. So you didn't see Trump at all, which it's a bit weird. That.
So I just subtly opened a can of audio whoop ass there.
Oh, okay. Just subtly whoop our asses.
Yeah.
We're going in circles now, but Linda's position in government is the reason that I'm surprised they've even done the first one in the Saudi.
Yeah,
that is
because
very
it's
true.
Such a stupid thing to do anyway.
Yeah.
Like if this is going to put pressure on her, then why wasn't there already pressure on her?
Yeah,
that's very true. Like it shouldn't take a U.S. journalist being murdered to like kind of put in a magnifying glass on somebody in the cabinet who's the wife of the head of WWE.
Yeah.
It says true, but Trump is very pro-Saudi. I don't know about that, considering that he said something. There's going to be severe punishments if they find out that anybody from Saudi Arabia had something to do with this, basically. So.
What about if it wasn't though? Because I mean, something happened.
Well,
whether it
obviously
was the Saudis or the Turkish.
The guy's friend, the journalist's friend, said something along the lines of like, "There's a 100% chance they walked in and a 100% chance they didn't walk out."
Right.
So.
But I think the phrasing of Trump's thing, if a Saudi had anything to do with it,
yeah,
seems a bit like if it was the Turks, that's okay then, or.
Yeah, that's true.
You should be pissed either way, really.
Yeah, that's very that's a very valid point. So,
Trump said something recently, like in the last hour or so. It's really vague, but he's apparently been told now that he's being murdered. But the way he said it, I can't find the actual quote, but it was like he's not here anymore, something like that. It was just a really vague comment he said. But yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be the sort of catalyst, if you like, when it's revealed, which I think is probably going to be revealed now that he is dead.
Yeah.
when it's officially revealed he's dead, then I think they'll be forced to pull out. I don't think they'll have a choice. I mean, obviously they've got a choice, but I think the pressure will be too big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just it's a yucky situation all around.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
I just
Yeah.
I can close out all these tabs here now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's something.
How about let's play
yeah.
some prediction game then.
Yeah.
What will happen or won't happen?
That was going to be my segue. There's no one trying to guess whether or not this will happen, but
I guess
I'm just trying to lighten the mood with something. God,
that's true. Yeah. Real quick, we could make a quick mention that speaking of predictions, Impact is having Bound for Glory this Sunday, which is tomorrow, as of this broadcast. I believe the main event is Austin Aries and Johnny Impact, which is formerly Johnny Nitro. You guys gonna tune into this at all, or
No.
I had no idea until you said it was on.
I had no idea.
Maybe.
I had no idea it was on until I was skimming through all the headlines for the week, and I was like, oh.
As far as I know, we don't have a way of watching it in the UK.
Jesus, really?
It was on Bravo, but then that kind of collapsed. So I don't think it's on. I think it's some sort of dodgy stream. It would have to be if we wanted to watch it live.
Yeah, well, that can be arranged.
Do you guys not get Fight TV over there? Because that's what they're advertising on.
All right, yeah, but you pay for it, don't you?
Yeah, they're wanting $39.99 USD, which I don't know what the conversion rate for British currency is, but I'm sure that's quite a lot over there.
$9.99.
I'm saying it for $19.99.
Wow, you guys got a deal.
Is that with the currency conversion, do you think? Or
I don't know.
I will. So $39.99 USD to GBP is about 30 quid. So no.
Yeah, because I bought what was All In. I actually paid for that, and that was about 40 quid. 30 quid, sorry.
Really? God.
Yeah.
Because I know the WWE pay-per-views used to be 15, and that was, I guess,
Yeah.
because it's at such an awkward time, staying up to 1 a.m. just to start the thing.
Weirdly, they've gone up in price on Sky. They're actually 20 quid each now.
Yeah, I think that happened a little while ago, didn't it?
You think they go down though with the network being around? No one's gonna buy it, surely.
Wow.
So the announcers kept telling us for about a year, you'd be a fool to buy it on pay-per-view when you can have it on for free on the network if you sign up with a different email every month.
Yeah, so Fight is the only way to get it, apparently, in the UK.
Apparently there is a hyped up concrete jungle death match.
The hell's that?
I have no idea. I'm currently looking that up. It's LAX
Is that
versus...
the OVE rules match? Oh no, concrete jungle death match. Yeah,
Yeah.
there it is.
Yeah.
It's LAX versus LAX.
Yeah. There it is, right there. Yeah. I don't know what it includes, but yeah, that's a thing that's going to be happening. You also have what else? Yeah, OVE rules match, whatever that is. I think that's what Chuck's just mentioned.
Yeah. Aries Impact, Eddie Edwards versus Moose.
Yeah.
Tessa Blanchard versus Taya Valkyrie for the Knockouts title.
Yeah.
Matt Sydal and Ethan Page versus Rich Swann and Willie Mack. That should be good too. Cool to see Rich Swann again. Ali versus Su Young. Eli Drake versus TBA.
To be announced, yeah.
Why?
Some speculations that it might be Chris Jericho because they've reached out to.
Oh God, really?
Yeah, to do like a short-term deal with Impact. I don't know how I would feel about it, nor would I know what entrance music he would have coming out.
Probably a fuzzy tune, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Does a lot of his own
Something
music.
fuzzy related. Well.
Yeah, and Abyss to be inducted on the Hall of Fame, which will be live on Twitch. Which, hey, there you go. Jim Mitchell to induct him as well.
Oh, that's cool. I miss Jim Mitchell.
Yeah, he's
a great manager.
Pretty good manager, yeah.
Is that tomorrow then, is it?
Yes, Ed. Fight TV wants $39.99 USDs. That is correct.
Why buy that on Fight TV when you can watch The Voice of Wrestling for free? Hey,
there you go. Why would you? So, really, so we've got Fight Network back on Sky, have we?
Is it the same thing?
Channel 192. Well, apparently Impact is on that now, so I don't know. I'm going to have to look up on the TV guide as we go. Turn the TV on, see what I can find.
There was some, while you're doing that, there was some news about apparently the Impact and WWE meeting that took place a few months ago. I think it was Scott D'Amore said it was basically just a face-to-face thing to say hello, and they will be doing more business together. Let's see, where was it? The quote was, WWE management sees that this is a different day for wrestling. There was a meeting, we got together, we talked, it was nice to be face-to-face and saying hello. It's 2018, it's a whole different world, and there's no reason why we shouldn't communicate. There's no agenda, it's just how the business is now.
Really?
Do you guys get a channel called 5 Spike over there, or?
We did.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, so this article I'm looking at telling me that it's on the Fight Network was from July, and the channel that they've listed is not there anymore.
Oh.
So,
well, because like
I guess
because Spike turned into the Paramount Network over here.
I think it could be here as well.
Yeah, so I don't know if that is the same thing over there.
We do have 5 Spike. When's Bound for Glory supposed to be? Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
It doesn't look like it's on 5 Spike.
Huh.
The A-Team is, though, apparently.
There we go. I've got it's not available live in the UK.
Wow. Huh.
Streams live globally on the Fight TV app. For all the Aftermath fans can watch Impact Wrestling for free at 1 AM on Thursday on the GWN app or Fight Network UK.
I've got one. I've got one here. Channel 455 on Sky, Showcase, 11 PM, The Bound for Glory. And it says, the listing description says, The Bound for Glory playoff featuring James Storm, Eli Drake, Bram, Jeff Hardy, and more.
Oh my God.
Christ.
Wow. Wow. That's incredible.
Is that a real thing?
That's incredible.
I'm not finding it anywhere. Oh, right.
Yeah, 5 Spike is the one that carries Impact Wrestling, not necessarily the pay-per-view. Just for the record.
Yeah, it does say further on this article, 11 PM on Friday night on 5 Spike.
Huh.
So, but the actual pay-per-view is not live here.
So 455 Showcase in the UK is now showing Rocky Mountain Pro. It's then got Wrestling from Arizona, Abu Dhabi Grand Slam. It looks like it looks basically like Spike or the Fight Network or something. In fact, this footage is from the Fight Network. It looks like a wrestling channel. This is great.
Rocky Mountain Pro, yeah. Oh.
Plus 24 hours. The Bound for Glory there.
Oh.
Fight Network Impact. That must be where it is every week. It looks like it goes from 11 till 2:30 a.m.
I wonder if Fight Network is sharing the channel, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Seen that done before. You get a random channel and they share the number.
There was
get like half the day.
There was I saw somebody post something on a forum somewhere of like a recent thing that happened in Impact, and they shoot the backstage segments so weird and whatnot nowadays. Like it's all pre. It looks all pre-done. Like they have everything mapped out, and it's supposed to be like these weird, like well-directed shoots, but they look like, on a wrestling show doesn't make much sense with all the cuts that they do and such. Like they had what was his name? Eddie Edwards, I think. They had like some angle where his wife got kidnapped and he was trying to rescue her in like this weird abandoned building, and this guy had like two tables, and he forced Eddie to sit down at the longer end of one while him and Eddie's wife was on the other side or something like that. It was weird. But yeah, anyway, I've not seen Impact in forever. So if I somehow tune in tomorrow and see this live, I'm probably going to be vastly surprised at everything that's happening, especially with that jungle concrete match.
But you're a resident Impact correspondent.
That's true. Yeah, I am.
True. Used to watch Impact, but not NXT.
For a while, yeah. Now I just don't watch either.
For quite a while. That might be the right move, actually. NXT, I hear, is very good lately.
Yeah.
So maybe I should go back to that. Or maybe I should just watch this, whatever this Rocky Mountain Pro.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just give up on Raw and watch this instead.
Let's see here. Aside, I'm just looking for some other stories to possibly talk about. Again, the Saudi Arabia stuff kind of dominated the headlines this week. Here's one that's apparently stated that Impact almost shut down.
Again?
Yeah, in 2017.
Didn't we know that? It almost shut down repeatedly in 2017.
Yeah. During an appearance on Dave Penzer's podcast. Apparently, former ring announcer Dave Penzer has a podcast.
Everyone does a podcast these days.
That's true.
Literally everyone.
You don't even have to be anyone to have a podcast these days.
That's true. That's very true. Anthem Sports President Ed Nordholm admitted that Impact Wrestling almost shut down last year, saying, I would say that we got into August and September of 2017. I think that was probably coming into our darkest period, and we had to make some hard decisions on whether we could or should carry on. So there you go. Apparently, if we were still doing the prediction thing, the do.
Those are the days.
Yeah.
Just Chuck, you still watching this match?
I am, yeah.
I can only assume it's a cruiserweight match because everything's purple.
Yeah. Is it actually a match? I thought this guy just ran in.
Oh, did he?
It's like a gauntlet. Because the
guy
who looks like a Indian CM Punk he beat another guy, and then this like budget Tommaso Ciampa jumped in.
Oh, there's another fella.
And now we've got
two bald fellas just running now.
Well, yeah, so now we've got three bald guys with beards all beating up on this guy.
Oh my god.
Which it's a little uncomfortable, actually. Like racially speaking, I mean.
Yeah.
These three white skinheads are beating up.
All right.
The one ethnic. This isn't my kind of entertainment.
I think we've reached the Rocky portion of Rocky.
Yeah, you could say that.
It's when you find out the tag team name is EDL.
Oh my god.
He was firing up there for a little while, but he's been beaten down.
Just the numbers game, innit?
Let's see here. Apparently Edge now getting over to the SmackDown 1000.
Oh, there's a guy in a hoodie.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's a bit like Roman Reigns, actually.
Doesn't he?
I don't know who he is, but he's someone, and these guys aren't going to be happy to see him, even though there are 3 of them.
The idiot about it.
And he's kind of actually doing a bit of a Roman Reigns, like, ooh, ah, look at the moment.
Oh my God.
And now the other guy's handing him a baseball bat. He needs that.
He was dead a minute ago.
Yeah. I don't know where he got that bat from. Might
The
use
bat
it himself. Oh, ow, that was right in the head. This is better than Raw, I'm saying. Oh, there's a kick to the side of that. This guy's a badass. And there's a rock bottom. There's the Rocky Mountain. Cool. All right, what were you saying, Smooth?
No, I was just gonna get ready to get into the SmackDown 1000 side of things here. Apparently, Edge was hyped up for this event.
He's doing a cutting edge.
Yeah, but apparently he's no longer being promoted for said show, unfortunately.
He'll be there.
You think he's still gonna show up, or?
Yeah.
I mean, the page that was supposedly hyping up the cutting edge segment is no longer available anymore.
Maybe they're not doing that.
All right. All right.
You can't have the 1000th edition of SmackDown without Edge.
Or Teddy Long, or The Undertaker, or
He's gonna be there.
Rey Mysterio.
Teddy Long will be there.
Oh,
They'll all be there.
Yeah, Mysterio could be there.
He's already announced, didn't he?
Oh, was he?
Yeah. I think he's having a match with Nakamura. He said that last week.
Yeah, I totally missed that. Well, that's good. It's good to have him back. I know Teddy Long and Vicky Guerrero were announced. And then, yeah, Edge and the... and Evolution.
Evolution, yeah. The first time ever on SmackDown, Evolution.
Well, I was supposed to say SmackDown Legends Evolution. Can't have the 1000th edition of SmackDown without Evolution on there.
All right.
Right before the Evolution pay-per-view, in which they won't feature.
Huh.
Although I did like, was it Tom Phillips or someone said Evolution?
Corey.
The proper way to say it.
Corey, yeah. Evolution will be here next week.
Was it Corey, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of SmackDown, let's take a quick look at everything. They started the show off with the Women's Championship between Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, but it was supposed to be like if Becky gets disqualified, she loses the title, and the match ended in a double countout, which they kind of teased. However, the match ended with Charlotte spearing Becky through the LEDs like Rhino did to Jericho back in the day, which I think was a pretty good homage.
Yeah, it was. That was a cool spot, that as well. She was in a bad way, though. She got really cut up from that.
Yeah, and she was still able to do mixed match challenge afterwards, which has been hit with injuries lately. Honestly, you have Alexa who's out, Sasha who's also out, and Kevin Owens being substituted out as well because of knee surgery.
Yeah, I read about apparently Owens could be out till next year.
Jeez.
Could be a bad one. Yeah.
Which explains why Lashley kind of put the hurting on him this past Monday.
Where's Sami Zayn? Is he coming back anytime soon?
And he had the 2 shoulder injuries, didn't he? So,
yeah.
I've not heard anything about a return, but how long ago was that now? About a year, was it?
No, because he came back he was with Kevin Owens for a while, and then he had a match with Lashley, and he didn't come back after that. So it's going to be 3, maybe 4 months.
Is it that long? I thought it would be longer than
that. I mean, Lashley hasn't been back that long.
That's true.
Yeah.
And it was in that feud with the sisters that we don't talk about anymore.
Good. Jeff Hardy defeated Samoa Joe to qualify for the WWE World Cup. Then you had Miz TV with AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan, which led to AJ Styles defeating Shelton Benjamin. Aiden English.
Oh man.
Yeah, sorry.
Thought Shelton was destined for big things after that Daniel Bryan win.
It was kind of funny because like Shelton came out and from the one angle of the Titantron, it just looked like it just said Shelto on it.
Yeah,
So
cool new nickname for him.
Yeah. So everybody on Twitter was just calling him Shelto. Aiden English presented the rest of the one night in Milwaukee. I'm kind of glad they wrapped this up. This whole thing has been terrible. They tried to make it seem like Lana was like this tremendous hacker, even though the footage was coming from the production truck the entire time. So, and he basically tried to make the moves on Lana, and Lana was like, "No way, Jose. I'm married to Rusev." And
what? So where was No Way Jose during all of this?
As soon as I said that, I immediately regretted it.
Nice.
But
this channel is now showing Mick Foley.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Abyss and Mick Foley. Oh, she got really badly injured on that, didn't she? What's her name? Daphne. When she got chokeslammed through the barbed wire board.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they just showed that clip.
On the Rocky Mountain channel here.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're showing like, I guess it was a Foley versus Abyss match with a special ref.
Yeah.
And Abyss won, and they're all covered in blood. This is
great.
This is
the kind of wrestling we don't see anymore.
Nope. And the main event of this SmackDown, which could be a main event almost on any episode of SmackDown or Raw, Randy Orton defeating Big Show to qualify for the WWE World Cup as well. So there you go.
Yeah, we could see Big Show again. Don't know why he was there. I thought he was Raw.
He's under 400 pounds now.
Yeah.
He's really he's really leaned out. They said he was like 385, 386, something like that.
Yeah.
Which is incredible.
At what point do I get worried that I'm going to be heavier than Big Show?
Maybe
380 seems like quite an achievable weight.
Yeah. Maybe 5 years from now when he hits like in the 200s or something like that, you know?
Exactly. He gets really skinny.
That's when he's on 205. You gotta be worried.
When they just call him Medium Show.
Let's see here. On Raw, DX reformed to challenge the Brothers of Destruction. Interesting they don't mention Crown Jewel on here.
It's worth mentioning, so just on that point, they've not mentioned it on Twitter since Friday.
Yeah,
at all.
Yeah.
I was only yesterday, but yesterday morning.
So are they going to pretend that it was never a thing now?
It's going to get Benoit.
Yeah, exactly.
God.
Everything totally gets dropped. We just pretend it never happened.
They're gonna like subtly rename it to something else, and people are just gonna be like, "What the fuck is this thing?" At WWE Roadshow, DX versus Brothers of Destruction.
Maybe they'll get Frank the Clown back and call it like Clown Rule or something.
Oh my god!
Make him the new GM. Call it Clown Rule. No, that's what we've been calling it this whole time. How did you not know?
Yeah, Bobby Lashley defeated Kevin Owens again, as we just mentioned. Lashley seemed like a heel here in this regard for some reason, and Owens was the face. Again, that's probably just write Owens off TV for a while for this knee surgery. This was interesting. Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey and the Bella Twins defeated the Riot Squad, and the Bellas then attacked Rousey after the match, which I think we all saw coming at some point. And then this is where the little scuffle at the beginning of their match at what was the fucking Super Showdown on who would start the match, there between Nikki and Ronda. They had that little argument. And it finally blew up into something about a week later. So I'm kind of interested to see Ronda beat the shit out of Nikki, personally. Finn Balor and Bayley defeated Jinder Mahal and Alicia Fox. God, hooray! This is something from Mixed Match Challenge spilling on to Raw television, if you will. And then you had, what was it, the Conquistador
This was great.
winning his spot from the Global Battle Royal to qualify for the WWE World Cup. The Conquistador ended up being Kurt Angle. Because Baron Corbin...
was such pro wrestling.
Yeah.
This is like the
great.
most pro wrestling thing I've seen for a long time.
Yeah. It almost feels like it was missing for a while.
Yeah.
Because of all the stupid shit that WWE's been putting out.
I thought it was going to be Kurt Hawkins.
I thought a lot of people thought it was going to be Heath Slater. Because moments before the match started, Heath ran up to Corbin.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Corbin's like, sorry, pal, you're not good enough.
But when you saw the guy, and he had like the world's biggest neck, did you realize then? I've only ever seen one neck like that.
It's true.
Also, he moved like... I don't even know if he moved like that 20 years ago. He did like the front flip and rolled through. That kind of scary a little bit, knowing that it was Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
But he looked great.
I honestly thought the Belgian Waffler had a chance.
Yeah.
He was really battering people in there.
Someone tweeted a picture of them all lined up in the ring, and the caption was, when you used as randomized mode in 2K19.
Is that out now?
Yeah, it came out Tuesday, I think. Well, everywhere else.
I gotta look that up.
It's the first one I haven't gotten launch. Doesn't really intrigue me this time, but I'll probably pick it up eventually.
Ember Moon defeated Nia Jax via countout, and then Nia held up Ember's hand at the end there. There's one spot at the end of that match where I think it was Nia that ended up getting crashed into the LED boards on the ring apron.
Yeah.
And it honestly looked like a really vicious spot.
Yeah, it did.
And that board has no give to it at all.
Huh.
So, after that, he had Lita returned after Alexa Bliss and Mickie James challenged Trish Stratus to a tag match at WWE Evolution. So basically, it took the two individual matches, smushed them together, and now you have this tag match, which makes sense. Presumably,
because...
it
makes a lot more sense than what they were gonna do.
Yeah.
I was kind of wondering what made them change their minds on this.
Because as great as to see Lita versus Mickie James, it made zero sense booking-wise.
Yeah. I don't know why anyone was really supposed to care about that other than nostalgia.
Right.
Whereas this, why do that nothing match when you can do one big one where you can protect Trish and Lita a little bit more?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Move.
Bobby Roode and Chad Gable defeated the Ascension, and then AOP attacked after the match. Sure. Honestly, at this point in the show, it seemed like, with everybody turning heel and whatnot, I thought this would have been a perfect opportunity to have Bobby Roode just fed up with Chad Gable's bullshit, but they keep winning matches. So, let that cook on the back burner a little bit longer, I suppose. Paul Heyman addressed the Universal Triple Threat match. Oh, okay, well, they mentioned it here. The title being on the line at Crown Jewel. This was kind of weird. You had Heyman make this big spiel, and then Corey out of nowhere said, "Is Brock Lesnar here?" After Paul Heyman said that he's at home on his couch, bed, house, place.
Yeah, that was weird though.
That was really weird. I was wondering if he got someone from backstage had asked him.
I was thinking that. Yeah. No, I was thinking he was asking backstage, but he didn't realize he was on mic.
Yeah.
Either way, didn't really sound right.
Yeah. And then the main event, which the Heyman speech led to the Shield coming out, and then the main event, Braun Strowman and Raw Tag Team Champions Ziggler and McIntyre defeating the Shield, and a dejected Dean Ambrose left the ring and headed up the ramp, head down, presumably disappointed with his so-called brothers. Again,
they're really pushing this brothers thing, aren't they?
Yeah. Again, this could have been another heel turn moment. the way the night was. So
Yeah.
yeah,
the Shield, and then they had Triple H and Shawn call each other brothers as well.
Oh my god!
Like that's a new thing that people can't just be friends and they have to be brothers. That means more.
Yeah. You're supposed to be my friend. Have Batista and Rey Mysterio.
We could see that on
again.
SmackDown.
Yeah, this Tuesday.
We asked this question last week, but I just want to double check: is Brock Lesnar going to be showing up on SmackDown?
Okay.
Oh, for the first time in I don't know, a long time.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Brock Lesnar on SmackDown. Have him recreate the ring break with Big Show. Although I don't think you can do it now because Big Show's lost a lot of weight. So I don't know how believable that kind of spot would be. Probably I wouldn't be surprised if you see Khali.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm actually looking forward to Lesnar being there. I'm not getting my hopes up, but if he shows up, great. You know. What else? Yeah, I'm hyped to see the show in general. I'm hoping maybe with the LED spot last week, maybe it's a segue to have like a new set or something. I doubt it.
Maybe,
I highly doubt it.
I'd notice at this point.
Yeah, I highly doubt it.
Maybe you might see the fist again.
Yeah.
Oh, there's that one image of the fist coming through the broken LEDs.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that. That was great. Also from Twitter. So. Go ahead.
Probably guarantee you're going to see the Boogeyman.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's a pretty safe bet. What other SmackDown legends are we going to see?
JBL, have you mentioned him?
JBL's probably going to be there.
Yeah.
Eric Escobar. Can't have a SmackDown celebration without Eric Escobar.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
I don't know if we'll see it, but it would be nice. They did SmackDown for quite a long time. But nice to see Cole and Taz again.
Honest to God, yeah, like get Cole and Taz together. Even if the two don't get along.
Yeah.
Because I've heard that like they don't like each other or something like that.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
But
they did SmackDown for such a long, and it was when SmackDown was hot as well.
Yeah. So
used to always love Taz's little "Here Comes the Pain" shout when Lesnar came out.
Yes. Here comes the pain, Cole. King Booker probably gonna be there.
Yeah.
Along with Queen Sharmell. I think you mentioned Vicky.
Yeah.
This is one of those occasions. They need to just make the shows 2 hours again, and then save the 3-hour gimmick for like special shows like these.
Is this 2 hours?
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be a 2-hour thing because there's less wiggle room, I think, with Tuesday nights and SmackDown. I feel than there is with Raw, which has an overrun, a contractual overrun. So.
Yeah. I think they're going to be pushed then. They have trouble filling 3 hours sometimes somehow. So they're going to be pushed to fill it to get everything right in the 2 hours.
Yeah.
Could be. Let's just hope it's better than Raw 25.
Yeah.
Oh,
God.
Yeah.
What a catastrophe that was. What a mismanaged catastrophe.
We've said it before, but I think having it in two places messed that up.
It really felt like they didn't want to do it in 2 places.
Yeah.
They had nothing for Manhattan Center.
Yeah, it was like Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt and like one other match, and that was it. And I kind of agree with Will. It seemed like they didn't want to do it, yet they had nothing for the Manhattan Center.
They sent them in because they were complaining.
Oh, jeez.
And they beat up the Revival at the end or something?
Yeah. DX and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah. So, anything else? I think we filled enough time.
Yeah.
It's officially an hour. So, yeah, enjoy wrestling this weekend. If you're tuned into Bound for Glory, I may keep an eye on it, seeing how I have not seen it in forever. Also, keeping an eye on the Crown Jewel Saudi Arabia situation with the news of that and such.
I don't think we're going to get any news on Monday.
Yeah, I think yeah, that's definitely
when the roster's all there, wherever Raw is on Monday. Obviously, Vince will be there. They'll probably have some kind of meeting, and think they'll make some sort of announcement before Raw on Monday.
Yeah,
that's right. It might go totally the other way, but I don't know.
Until that investigation's wrapped or something.
Yeah.
I think maybe, well, then again, maybe at the start of the show we'll have like Vince McMahon, like with the Benoit situation, like due to the events and nature of what happened in Saudi Arabia, we're not going to have Crown Jewel over there. Goddamn.
So that would be good.
Yeah.
If they did something like that, that would be them admitting, yeah, we can screw up a bit. Yeah. Not really our fault, but we've got to move on. That would be the best way to do it, I think, rather than completely forget about it.
Exactly. So, from here on out, we will not make a reference to Saudi Arabia. God damn it. Something like along those lines. Like I kind of agree with you. Maybe something on Monday at the start of the program we'll hear something on that. Considering there's all these brands and celebrities and whatnot pulling out. So, anyway, keep an eye on that, and I'm going to let these two go back to watching their Rocky Mountain Network thing, which is just non-stop wrestling programming. Anyway,
wrestling from Arizona right now.
Oh,
there's some. These are very indie-rific guys.
Indie-rific.
You would see these in your local town hall, I think. Well, I mean, if you lived in Arizona, you definitely would.
All right. Well, that's going to be it for us. We'll be back next week to predict Evolution, I think, right?
Yeah, must be.
Yeah,
that time already.
I'm going to predict Evolution.
Oh, yeah, Evolution. I'm sorry. Evolution is a mystery.
I'm going to predict Bound for Glory.
Good luck with that. Anyway, we'll take care, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one. Goodbye.